Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get into an intraday update on this market as well as with AMC Stock because things are very fluid and things are changing on a almost minute by minute basis. So we're going to get into that here in this video. On top of that, I do want to just touch on a couple things that are being spread as really rumors in this community. Now, this has to do with the Amazon potential buyout and takeover of AMC. Some people are signaling this would be a distressed asset sale, and that's not true. Even though we haven't heard anything from Amazon or AMC, AMC's not in a position to be labeled a distressed asset. Sure, they're losing money, but sure, they have $800 million of cash on their balance sheet, and they just won shareholder approval to raise as many shares as they would like and pay off all of their debt. So if they would like to. So AMC's really coming at this with a position of strength here, and I wouldn't get too far deep into the conspiracy theories and the rumors. So we have a lot to get into. I'm not going to waste your time all too much. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. So as you guys know, I usually like to start with what is happening in the markets. Usually we can fly through that pretty quickly, and today is no exception. And really, you're not getting a lot of news today. You're not really getting any news. Nothing that is moving this market. Now, with that lack of news, you didn't have any economic data as well, and that's where you can get a 1% rally in the S&P, 1.5% rally in the Nasdaq, and a 0.69% gain in the Dow, because we don't have news, and a lot of the times news is what is driving this market. Now, we are getting the House lawmakers that are tearing into top bank regulators in the second hearing this week on the SVB collapse. It's a lot of back and forth, but long story short, I will tell you, markets like the fact that this is one taking its time, right? There's not any drastic implementations that are happening right now, and this crisis is not getting worse. So that is number one. Banking crisis is not getting worse. If this situation, if you were seeing more banks starting to feel the stress, that would not be a good thing. So that is part of what is happening today as well, and that is really all. You don't have anything. Oh, you did get actually pending home sales that actually went up a little bit in February as mortgage rates jumped. After a sharp gain in January, pending home sales rose just 0.8% in February, according to National Association of Realtors. The average rate on the 30-year fixed mortgage started February right around 6% and ended the month just over 7%. So pending home sales, that's, I guess you would say, a positive thing, right? If people are able to sell homes, if there's more people that are selling homes, well, hopefully that should push down some of that housing inflation, really the sticky part that Fed Jerome Powell has been trying to do away with in the inflation report. So a little bit of good news here on the sign of demand and weakening home prices potentially, but not really anything that is definitive, right? You can't look at this data point and say this is a super positive for inflation, even though the markets might be taking it as such. You could see a very substantial rally so far here on the day, but a lot of people are starting to talk about the markets are just overbought at this point. There's so many different risks here that the markets are not paying attention to. Really opens the door for a lot of downside here over the next couple of months, and people like to call this out. It's like the calm before the storm. When things first start to get bad, they typically get bad, markets draw down, things get better for a while, and then they go way down the toilet. And some people were comparing this to Bear Stearns when they went bankrupt in March of 2007. And shit didn't actually hit the fan until September of 2007 when Lehman Brothers ultimately went bankrupt. There was a bounce between March and September that had a lot of people thinking the potential pain was over at that time, when we do now know that it was not the case. So It's what a lot of people, a lot of analysts are starting to say. It's not hard to find this information. A lot of people are speaking on this, and I do highly recommend you guys take both sides of this. If you are bearish, then listen to the bullish argument. If you're bullish, listen to the bearish argument. I think you can get a lot of insight by doing that. Now, as far as AMC stock, AMC is currently down, drumroll please, 3.98% here on the day. Pay attention to this. You got rejected right on the 50-day moving average. Trading algorithms did not want AMC to go higher than that 50-day moving average. And I think that's because things get really out of hand very quickly if that starts to happen. And you've seen that reflected in the S&P 500 yesterday. When this buyout news that came out, that was actually during this sell-off in the markets. So you were definitely seeing collateral being crunched, and hedge funds and, investment managers alike, really, you could summarize that in a bunch of different categories, were selling stock to potentially put more collateral in their AMC short positions. And it was very obvious if you watch yesterday's videos that the literal timings on these 1-minute candles between AMC and the broad markets were the exact opposite, right? AMC started to rally, markets started to fall at the same time. I think that is no coincidence. Now, considering that AMC stock is now down 4.37% here on the day, you are above $4.50 per share. You're almost right in the middle between the support level that was prior resistance at 450 and the resistance level, which looks to be that 50-day moving average at $5.46 per share. So you're pretty firmly in the middle here. And I do expect to kind of bounce around this area. It might be pretty aggressive until we get new information, until we get new news, and until we get something on the court situation coming April 27th. I do expect kind of this ping pong back and forth. Now, if you take it a step further and look at the Ortex data, under the surface here, signs are showing that there's a lot of stress with shorts in AMC, and that probably has to do a lot with the cost to borrow rates that are at this point eating into any profits that these shorts might have. Now, the live short interest of free float is sitting at 25%, 129.34 million shares that are currently sold short. Cost to borrow average of 350%, cost to borrow max of 435%, and cost to borrow minimum at about 8% currently. Yesterday's reading was about 383.68%. Earlier today, a reading did come in at about 115% as well. So some of these numbers across the board, obviously very high. If you look at Interactive Brokers, and this is where I like to look at kind of the cost to borrow minimum, Interactive Brokers usually has the lower end cost to borrow rates, right? They typically give you the best deals if you're trying to short stock. And currently, you're looking at about 10,000 shares that are available to be lent out with a cost to borrow rate of 247.83%. This is showing you some real signs of distress that is going on under the surface here, and I think that is important to recognize. When cost to borrow rates go higher, typically that does lead to a rally in AMC stock, and that does show that uncertainty is very high. Like, how long can you pay a 234% cost to borrow rate? Not that long. So you need to see something come out of this court situation on April 27th, or shorts, they're going to start feeling the pain and feeling it very, very quickly. Now, you're getting some unusual sweep action that is happening today as well, and some large institutional orders coming through. This unusual sweep, I think, is very interesting, particularly because what we've covered over the past couple of days, whenever we get these unusual options, or really just being bullish on AMC right now, is unusual. Institutional investors have been so bearish on AMC for weeks and weeks now. It's been disgusting. And you can see this reflected right here. Over the past week, you have seen 111 orders totaling $31.26 million with a positive order value of 6%. Keep in mind, these are only institutional order flows. These are large money players, right? Hedge funds, institutional investors, pension funds, retirement funds even. All these guys have big money. These are the options that are coming up from them. This is not retail or anything else along those lines. And it's been very negative. Well, today you're actually seeing the first positive day in AMC options in, I can't even remember, guys. It's been months and months since you have had one positive day with options. Now, 5 orders totaling $505.32 thousand, positive order value of 55%. And this option trade right here is getting a lot of attention as of recently. September 15th, the $8 call, someone purchased 2,500 of these for $74 a piece, worth $185,000. And we actually reported on this yesterday, I believe, as well. If we go ahead, let me try to find that other order as well here in just a second. You can see like all of these are puts. There's not a lot of option activity at all. Yes, right here. It says yesterday at 11 o'clock. September 15th, $8 call, 6,555 of these that were purchased for $65 a piece, worth $426,000. So you're getting some option activity definitely down the line towards September around that $8 call, and you're seeing another one also placed today, September 15th, $8 call for $58,000. So I think that is pretty interesting in relation to this buyout with Amazon. That might suggest to you maybe that buyout price is $10 or $15 or $20 per share, considering there's so much option activity that you're looking at around these levels. Now, you're also seeing a June 16th expiration, a $3 call trade worth $24,000 as well. When you're getting a buyout like this and another June 16th $15 call as well. So when you're getting this kind of option activity that is so far out the money, I mean, a $15 call from here for June 16th, June 16th is like 3 months away, and the stock's currently trading at less than $5 per share. You're betting the stock's going to go up over 200% from here, or you're going to lose all your money. I get it. It's not a whole lot of money with some of these trades, but some of these trades are pretty large. Even for the September 15th $8 calls, stocks trading at, call it $5 per share, you're expecting like a 50% move to get to $8 per share, on top of your break even being almost $9 per share. That's expecting a very large move, and a very large move to be bullish as well, guys. So there you have that. We're not getting any new information on AMC or anything like that here today. So that is pretty much going to do it. Like I said, with technicals, guys, you want to obviously head to the higher end range. You want to find resistance at this 50-day moving average until we break above it. But hey, if we're going to hold 450 as well to the downside, I think that is a very positive thing as well, because you got rejected at this and found resistance at this like 7-8 days before you actually broke above it and managed to close above it by the end of the day. And then once that happened, well, the flip has totally changed on AMC. So that is pretty much going to be all for this video. That is what you guys need to know so far. We do have some bank stress data that is going to be coming out by the end of the day today, and I think the whole markets are waiting to see, is there more stress that is going into the banking system as of right now, or is it still being contained by some of the actions regulators have put in? So that is it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.